So I deal in intangibles. And when I mean intangibles, I mean that things that you cannot touch with your hand. They are intangible values, but they have tangible valuation. Intangible values, but they have tangible valuations, meaning that they can be measured. You can see their impact in your life. You can see their impact in your business. And you can actually tell what changed from the time you started doing them versus when you weren't doing them. So I needed to put that out there. And my slide can roll. Thank you. 2026 is upon us. And we make plans. We have aspirations. Personal development, business development, how to scale finances, how to make family life better, so many plans. One of the plans I will encourage you to make ahead of 2026 is a plan to shore up your trust capital. My key word this morning is around trust capital and how nobles leverage trust capital, both for business and for individual life. And I'm excited more because I'm speaking about this in a church this morning, because nobody should really have trust capital as much as a Christian should have. So if it's missing, you're missing something great. Whether it's in the light of you being a child of God or you being a marketplace person, whatever you do in the marketplace. So that will be my introduction. You're welcome to class. I have a few opening thoughts. Follow me closely. Okay, let me do that. Do you trust yourself? I've heard people say, I don't trust anybody, I don't even trust myself. You are meeting me today. Let this be the last time you say that. Guess why? If you do not trust yourself, nobody will trust you. It must begin from you. There are some things we say and we think we're just doing a disclaimer. They sound righteous, they sound humble, but they are wrong. Like this morning, I put up a post on Facebook and said, the end doesn't justify the means. It is the means that justifies the end. So if the end justifies the means, that if it was a crooked means, as long as you got the result, you are saying that that end justified that crooked means. Meanwhile, it is the means that you took, the process that justifies the result. Let this be the last time you say you don't trust yourself, because if you do not trust yourself, how do you expect me to trust you? Number 2, do you trust people? Do you trust people? A lot of us struggle with trusting people, and the reason, 2 reasons broadly. Because 1, you don't trust yourself. So if someone mistakenly pays money into your account, would you keep quiet or would you raise an alarm? These are practical things, and we go through them, we experience them every day. If someone pays for a good from you, and then they forgot to pick up the goods, would you call them and say, oh, you left this? Would you? Does your business process encourage ethical practices? Is trust capital in place in your business? Next opening thought. Your team and management, do they trust you? Do they trust you? And then, okay, all the do's are escaping from this. Well, do your team and management trust you? And then the other one is, ever wondered why a thief shops for a trusted ally? Do you know even thieves are looking for people that are trustworthy? So you have a team, and they're looking for one of them that are robbers, that they are sure that will not take the money away. And they keep the money or the loot with that person. That's how much in demand trust is in the marketplace. Even thieves are looking for credible people on their team. That tells you the value of it. And then the final question there is, have you heard about trading the trust exchange? I am sure many of us know stock exchange, or the Nigeria exchange as it's called today. But we don't know about the trust exchange. There's actually a trust exchange that we all trade in every day. Today, I'm going to make you become conscious of the fact that you are trading trust every day. And it's defining your fortunes. It's defining your placement. For some people, it's defining their promotion and all of that. Let's attempt to move on now to the next. Okay, let me just introduce keywords for you. The first keyword is nobles. So my topic says how nobles leverage trust capital advantage. And here I have, nobles are people who live and lead with elevated values. The word intentionally is very crucial. The next key word is trust. Trust. And trust is a firm belief in a person's reliability, integrity, honesty, and consistency. Then the third keyword I'd like to share, define for you, is capital. And capital is a resource, an asset that holds value and can be invested, it can be grown, it can be leveraged for greater outcomes. So anything that is a capital, many of us know about financial capital. I know about financial capital. Let me see your hands. I'm sure everybody does. Okay, you know about human capital. All of us should. Okay, and then there is financial capital, there's human capital, and there's something called social capital. So the trust capital is a subset of the entire social capital, but it's the heart of it actually. All right. The next slide, helping you to meet this, because I know that these are not things that are taught as business items regularly, but globally, they are being given more reckoning and more acknowledgement, and you should jump in at this point. Trust is an intangible. Can you hold trust? Now, I've been talking about trust. Is it an item that you can hold? No, it's an intangible, and that's why we take them for granted. It's an intangible. Number two, trust is active. It's not dormant at all. So that's why you say gain. They use the word gain for trust. They use the word earn for trust. What other words do you use for trust? Invest. Somebody says I'm vesting or investing trust. The other person says I earned. The other one says it shows that it's active. You can trade it. Another thing about trust is it is high yield. Many of us do investments, and we know investment instruments that are high yield or those that are not, that are minimal. In the place of trust, trust is high yield. Trust is also a capital asset, and it is a hard currency. It can also be volatile. So we know investments that can be volatile, or you say the stock market is volatile, but maybe it's not as another kind of investment. So what am I saying? I'm saying that trust is an item you must come up and close with by listening to me today. And you will not stop there. Because you see, there has to be the thread of consistency for trust to gain traction. It's not something you do just once, and then they'll say, I trust you for it. So trust grows through consistency. And I have a beautiful quote beside that, did you know, that says, trust is built practically and intentionally. It doesn't just happen by saying, trust me. You know, many of us use that word a lot. Trust me. Trust me. No, that's not all that you need for trust to be built. It is built by understanding all of what we'll be discussing today. Now, let's go into the concept of trust capital. For those of you who are in business, I need you to follow very, very closely. And if you're an individual helping another business to grow, meaning that you're an employee at this moment, you should also pay close attention. Because trust capital is something that you might need a lot more in 2026 than you have ever done in your entire business life. When things are becoming very uncertain, okay, so a lot of people are prophesying uncertainties around 2026 business atmosphere. But I'm saying that whenever things become uncertain and people are on the edge and people are doubtful, trusted people gain an edge. So this isn't something you should toy with. It is not something you should play down on. And if you found it difficult to maintain staying on the trust level, you probably should speak to a consultant or speak to someone who can help you show it up. The concept of trust capital defines trust capital as a bank of credibility. Many of us here have maybe an account, or you've done things with international banks or global banks. You probably have done things with investment banks. You probably have done things or do things currently with mortgage banks or commercial banks and the rest of them. There is a bank called Bank of Credibility. It's getting more interesting, right? Because I went from saying that it's a currency, it's a capital, and now I'm talking about a bank. So where is this bank domiciled at? Where can I walk into the bank? You mentioned exchange. Where is the building? Everything happens in people's perception of you. That's why this is very, 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 very important. It happens, assessments are taken of you in people's mind where you cannot reach. At least you don't have a direct access to their mind, but you can program what people believe about you by being a trusted person. The trust concept, trust capital concept also says that it's an accumulation. So I mentioned that already, that there's going to be consistency that creates an accumulation in the confidence people have about your character credit. Character credits. How credit worthy are you in terms of character? Are you in deficit? Are you in surplus? And do you think it just shows up itself or comes down? Nope. You've got to be intentional. One key word you will take away from here is intentionality of building trust capital. You've got to return back and then draw a chart on how to let the map start going up from the probably zigzag form that it has maintained so far. And I have another point I would like you to note as did you know? Okay, do you mind us reading this together? Want to go? Can it be more powerful? Want to go? Before you... Yes? Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's not a switch on and switch off. And like I mentioned before, you don't just say trust me and people trust you. No, now. Or else we say Azal now. All right, so the next slide says how trust capital is an advantage. One key word you saw in the topic is how nobles leverage the trust capital advantage. I'd like to share with you and prove to you how that trust capital is an advantage. I want to endear it to your heart enough for you to want to jump on this vehicle. Trust capital advantage puts you in a superior position. It makes it easy for people to prefer you to others. If you know that somebody is trusted and you know that another person is not trusted, it will take more than jazz for you to pick the one that is not trusted over the one that is trusted. True? I mean, because even Father Christmas will not do that. Trust capital advantage puts you and your business in a superior position and makes you a marketplace preference. Most markets are saturated. Most markets have very, very high competitiveness. Everybody's looking for a competitive advantage. If you've ever wondered which one you can jump on next and stay there, of course, it is trust capital. The trust you gain becomes your strategic strength and differentiator. It tells the difference between you and another business. All of us might be sewing clothes and dresses, but when they experience each of us, they can tell the difference. They know which person, when he says it's 10 naira, they will not come back and say, oh, I actually said 12. Didn't you hear when I said 12? Because you suddenly found out that the person will be able to pay more. I talk to real estate realtors a lot, and I am aware that sometimes, because some of them are crack-nut marketers, they just go ahead and name a price for a land that sells differently. So they say to the same plot, the same location, they sell a plot to you at 3 million, which is the exact amount. And then somebody calls in from the diaspora, like, this one has got box. And then they'll tell that person it's 9 million. The person innocently pays. Because probably they also feel that that place is worth it. Or they don't have a problem. They just want to be sure that it won't be audio land. That's an item of trust being impaired there. Most of the time, these salespeople think that it's gone, they'll never find out. And there comes a day when someone who is doing due diligence for the man who bought at 9 million comes around, and the other one is also around, and as would-be neighbors, they are comparing notes. I say, oh, this is a very good location. The other one says, oh, yes, it's very good. And for this amount that I bought it, and the amount that is going now, I mean, the current market's value. And he says, so how much did you get it for? 3 million. What about you? 9 million. You don't cast, Abby. Next slide. How trust capital is a competitive advantage. I'm still on that, trying to help you get it. Number one, it gives you an edge because it reduces or eliminates doubt. People doubt everything, and please don't blame them. If you market anything and you're wondering why anybody will ever doubt you, it's because it's not about you. It's about them. They are going to give you their money. But you see, there are a lot of things we do without doubting. And that also tells you when a brand has paid its price, the price doesn't stop being paid. Consistency, don't forget. People begin to vest trust in advance. They make deposit of trust in advance, hoping that they will meet it as it should be. So when you came in this morning, how many of you shook your chairs to be sure it will not make you fall down? If you did, nobody. Wow. What were you practicing? Why? Number one, because this is Calvary. It stands for excellence. I don't expect they will leave any chair that will make me fall. Number two, I've been sitting on this I've been using these chairs. Might not be the same one, and I've never fallen. So you responded with trust. If you've taken water this morning, let me see your hand. Okay, particularly if it was a bottled water. So did you do this to your bottled water? Before you took it? Some of you didn't even use a glass cup, so you gulp it down. True? Why would you do that? A brand has built trust over time. You have come to trust that brand. Now, back to you. That business you're running. Can I drink, if it was water, can I drink your water without checking? Do I trust the process that produced the water? Because there are a lot of things, as you will see shortly, that help this happen. And wherever I stop is where I stop this morning, because there's a lot to unpack. It reduces or eliminates doubt in you, in your brand. Number two, it speeds up buy-in decisions. Even when you go before a panel of interviewers and they're trying to decide who goes for this, do you know that trust also plays out there? Across the interview table, everyone has their hearts up and they're thinking, they're looking, and they're assessing. What they are looking for is which person can we trust here with this responsibility. There's trust traded everywhere. One of the things I believe will happen to you after listening to me today is you begin to notice how trust exchanges, how it converts. You begin to notice it. Conversions happen. And then you begin to be more intentional about throwing in the right prompts to get the right results. In business, what I've enjoyed in business, so apart from being a print journalist for some years, I started out as an entrepreneur 10 years ago, and in this November I clocked 10. What I've enjoyed is core trust. So I can tell you both from reading, from learning, and from experience that this works. We started with one real estate company as client. Today, we serve no less than 17 real estate companies from serving one. So at our organization, we call it the family tree of real estate clients. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we're dedicated to only real estate. I'm just saying that there's traction. The traction has been created over and again. People buy from you and they don't buy again, and you're not worried. Because one of the things that Trust Capital does for you is that it repeats, apart from making it easy for people to buy from you for the first time, it creates referrals, repeat patronage. It attracts opportunities that others lose. It lowers marketing costs. People who lie have to talk every day to be believed. Because truth doesn't get better through emphasis. Truth is truth. But Trust Capital lowers marketing costs. You spend less. Because people who experience your brand go and talk about you to those who should know. They become the evangelists of your brand. So many of us are losing that part of business. People cannot speak for us. People cannot describe, they cannot tell others to buy from us because they've had a bad experience. And in trust, everything counts, from customer service to the product quality, to the process that produced it, to the consistency of time that it comes out, to the promises you made to the client, to just about everything. Trust Capital counts for all. It creates brand loyalty. Many of us will really wish that we could have customers believe in our brands. But it will not just happen because you are a Christian and you speak in tongues. It will happen because you know the right things and you take your time to do them. It will boost revenue through referrals and repeat patronage. And then for those who are employees here, trust speeds up your career prospects and growth. Every time you have a trusted team member on your team, you want to give them more to do. That's trust. But you see, many employees do not even get it. That's when you start getting angry. Now let me there, yeah? You're doing all of that. That was trust. You couldn't say it. Because they have come to trust your competence. A lot of things make up and make Trust Capital an essential. It doesn't exist in a laughing atmosphere. When you are competent, for instance, you create trust. When you are excellent, trust is deposited. When you are consistent, trust grows. All of those traits help your trust. I have another did you know that we'll read together. If you are not tired of me, you are going to read this with strength. Want to go? Yes. Yes. It will never happen. You have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional. So as you're listening to me, I will encourage you to put down things you want to go and review in the way you do things going forward. Don't just listen to teachings and assume that you have everything packed in your head. That's how to waste your time and waste your energy. And waste your resource if you paid for it. But you do not want to waste any of those. In your note or in your notepad or somewhere, you put down what I'll be doing differently because of what I'm hearing. Let's do some surveys and statistics. For those who are in business, this might interest you. Number one, customers who trust a brand are 88%. Is 88% something? You shouldn't care, right? Yes. You shouldn't care about 88%. Whether I'm plus or minus, it's something you should just, that's a small figure out of 100. Is it? Is it? Okay, so listen. Customers who trust a brand, for instance, what do you do, sir? What do you do? Yes. Sorry? Product designer. Who does business on this row? Please help me out. Yes, what do you do? I didn't get that. Roofing sheet. Thank you. Roofing sheet. What's the name of the roofing sheet? Let me do advert for you. Delight Aluminium. Thank you. So, when customers trust Delight Aluminium, this statistic says they are more likely to buy again and again and again and again and again from Delight Aluminium, no matter who else is selling beside him. Are you with me? Are you with me, please? 79% of employees, second point. So the first one talk about how trust capital impacts sales with customers. The second one is looking at how it impacts team and team membership. 79% of employees who trust their employers are more motivated to work and less likely to leave. There's a huge HR people they have a whole work on their hands. It's been in recent years trying to decide how people can stay back more. And one of the things that make people go is a weak or poor culture in an organization. And one of the things that is a put off for most of employees is when the oga cannot be trusted. He says salary will be paid on this day. Now, whatever happened, salary could not be paid, but there was no word of explanation. Trust dies gradually. Before you know it, the young men and women are like, they are using your time on your laptop. Of course, life abhors vacuum. The next one is 44% customers. Okay, so that one was Deloitte, and 44% customers stopped buying from a company due to lack of trust. That's PwC survey. And then 92% business leaders. So this talks to leaders now in business. And 92% consumers. And 94% employees. They all agree that trust creates brand value. Everyone who will invest in your organization, many of us are here praying and saying, Lord, send me investors, send me partners, send me investors, send me grants. One thing you must have in check is trust capital, because it does build brand value. And the organization that would have the responsibility to build it. That's according to harvardedu.com. Next slide. The trust exchange I mentioned earlier. Trust capital advocates for you when you are not in the room. At the trust exchange, which I said happens in people's HQ, their minds, right? It often shows up at a vote of confidence in you if you have a candidacy. Why people decide that it's you, apart from people who buy their way. Look, when I'm talking about trust, I understand that some people have a shortcut to this entire thing I'm saying. I do very well understand. But the end does not always justify the means. An eventual sponsorship of your dream. Some people are looking for sponsors of their destiny, of their dreams. Can you be trusted? Could they trust you where you were before? Is there a track record somewhere? Can someone put in a reference for you? Can someone recommend you and say, oh no, that person is trustworthy? Do you need a reference, a document that should help your travels? Or you need to buy everyone that will recommend you? If you have a court case, can people stand for you and say, no, I'm willing to be a witness? That is trust. Can people stand guarantors for you, for your critical business moves? Even personal recognition. Are you growing it? I've heard of testimonies of people who flew from one country to another on personal recognition. It doesn't build in one day. It's reputation, it builds over time. So what are you doing with your name? What are you doing with yourself? What are you doing with your brand? How are you killing your own business by yourself every day? By not following the right standards. We'll do one more, did you know? And in another 2 minutes, I'll wrap this up for the altar call. All right. Did you know that trust is both an investment instrument with high value conversion and serving as a strong collateral? Have you ever heard a story where someone says, I didn't have money when I started. I was given the goods to go and sell and bring the principal back, take my profit. Have you heard of that before? Even at higher levels, I've seen real estate companies who didn't have money. The owners didn't have any money when they were going to start. But they were given parcels of land to sell. If they did not stay true, would they give them another one? Would the business continue? Will they get more? So, when trust is invested as a deposit, you have a responsibility to multiply it by being consistent in all of that. Okay, can you please jump to the next did you know? And that one says, the loss of trust is so strong. I needed to do this. I needed to add this. The loss of trust is so strong that when someone causes you a reputation damage, a trust dent, you describe it as character assassination. The word assassination is used for humans, true? Oh, they say someone was assassinated. But hear me. Trust capital is so important. That same word is used to describe it. When you lose trust, when you suffer a reputation damage, particularly when you know that it has not been the truth, someone is trying to castigate you, then you call it character assassination. Something dies. Are you with me? Something dies when trust dies. That you realize it or not is not an item. Life realizes it. And life will ask you, whether in business or not. Some of the values that can help your trust include integrity, excellence, authenticity, consistency, accountability, respect. As small as respect is, it builds trust. When people see that you respect them, they draw you closer. They just feel like you can come into my space. And from there, they want to check for the next good thing that you have to decide whether you stay there or not. Empathy and then commitment. There are a lot more. Courage and the rest of them. So for the time that we have today, that will be all that we can take. I need the reason arm. There's one slide, thank you. There's one slide with reason arm. I grew up in the barracks, so when something pinches me, I speak in broken. Okay, so I have reason arm there. Guys, I want you to follow me. No one on earth should have been more trustworthy than a child of God. I hear today that when you say I'm pastor, people don't want to do business with you. How did it become like that? It's an anathema. It's a flip side of what it should be. So apart from business and your personal brand, you are representing the kingdom. Why aren't you trusted? You need him to be able to do this. Jesus, and it's possible that you are even living right and somebody tries to malign you. It happened to Jesus. But at least do the one you can do first. Jesus was able to go through it till today. Jesus is still reaping the benefits of being a trusted person every time someone gives their life to Christ.